Okay, so in this video I'm going to discuss the 7 woes and the Pharisees' attempts to kill Jesus. There's many attempts in the Bible. And how they are attacking the Bible and Christians so they don't really get what's going on, while at the same time they're practicing a form of Satanism, which to truly understand what they're doing, you need to look at the Bible, because they're basically practicing God's plan in reverse. First, I'd like to address all the hypocrites, Ken 6 News, I believe it's in San Antonio, Texas or something. They talk about covert drugging.
Presence of mind to snap a photo with their phone. Burbeff says all these happenings culminated in an assault. The 39-year-old believes someone drugged the food in her home and returned later to rape her.
I know something happened to me because a woman knows.
She filed a report and was briefly hospitalized with signs of sexual assault. Dr. Hall says what Burbeff describes is known as gang stalking.
Okay, so she had signs of sexual assault when nobody broke in and forcibly held her down. They stalked her, they drugged her food, and they sexually assaulted her. Pretty much the same thing happened to me under different circumstances. It wasn't in my home. It was when I was out with one of the gang stalking perps, who was a female. And I have vague memories of them recording the incident and being in the back of a car in public. So, again, think about how she would react. If I was to then, go to, say, the Santa Clara County Sheriff Department and slit all their throats and shoot them all in the face and blow them up. If I was to do that, it wouldn't be because I was crazy. It would be because, on record, and I'm going to show you the pictures right now. I'm going to go quiet for a second so you can look at the pictures. So those pictures I've just shown you, are pictures of a military supply site, and it's for military and law enforcement. And there are items for sale that have to do with covert energy weapons, okay, and nauseating weapons. And also I've just shown you, well, I guess I'll show it right now, the image of, on record, the military having energy weapons. So now that all that's out of the way, and you know that they have a gajillion more reasons to want to do this to me than they do to that woman. The only reason they did it to her is because she knew Dr. John Hall. Why they're doing it to me is for over 3,300 videos, calling them out and making them look like the cowards they are. Exposing it beyond any doubt. I've offered money if you can prove me wrong about them being cowards and inferior forms of life. No one could do it. So anyway, I give you Matthew 22:15. Then Pharisees went out and laid plans to trap him in his words. They said, their disciples to him along with the Herodians. Teacher, they said, we know you are a good man of integrity and that you teach the way of God in accordance with the truth. You aren't swayed by men because you pay no attention to who they are. Tell us then, what is your opinion? Is it right to pay taxes to Caesar or not? But Jesus, knowing their evil intent, said, you hypocrites, why are you trying to trap me? Show me the coin used for paying the tax. They brought him a denarius, and he said, and he asked them, whose portrait is this, and whose inscription? Caesar's, they replied. Then he said to them, give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's. And so that's what I'm trying to do, give to God what is God's. God owns the whole earth. All this artificial BS, they can have it. They can have all their Babylonian whores. All the holy women, all the righteous women, all the women who are beautiful inside and out, especially, and all the ones who are beautiful inside, they follow me. If you sold out to Satan and to evil and to rapists and pedophiles and drug-dealing filth and mental health and so on, go with the spiritual bottom feeders. You're not wanted. You're not going to be with us in heaven. We don't want you on earth. We rebuke you. We chastise you. So now, I give you the 7 woes. When you hear, I forgot, it slipped my mind what this song is called, but basically Bob Marley made a song, and I'll put it in the comments, where he says, woe to the down-presser, they eat the bread of sorrow, and so on and so forth. I do believe he's referring to the 7 woes, Matthew 23. Yeah, it's going to take a while, so bear with me. Then Jesus said, okay, also I'd like to point out from the Matthew 22:15 and on, that they are trying to entrap me as well. I called them out as hypocrites and cowards. Okay, now in this one, you are going to see that these people are hypocrites, that these people are the descendants, specifically the descendants of the people who killed the prophets. And my argument is biblical, that the descendants of the people who killed the prophets, who betrayed Jesus, are here doing this again. The aristocracy, the Roman hierarchy, the European hierarchy in kings, and the Talmudic, Kabbalistic, Pharisee Jews and their allies. Then Jesus said to the crowd and his disciples, the teacher of the law and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. So you must obey them and do everything they tell you, but do not do what they do, for they do not practice what they preach. They tie up heavy loads and put them on men's shoulders, but they themselves are not willing to lift a finger to move them. Everything they do is done for men to see. They make their phylacteries wide and the tassels on their garments long. They love the place of honor at banquets and the most important seats at the synagogues. They love to be greeted in the marketplaces and to have men call them rabbi. But you are not to be called rabbi, for you have only one master, and you are all brothers. And do not call anyone on earth father, for you have one Father, and he is in heaven. Nor are you to be called teacher, for you have one teacher, the Christ. The greatest among you will be your servant. For whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You shut the kingdom of heaven in men's faces. You yourselves do not enter, nor will you let those enter who are trying to. Exactly my problem with them. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You travel over land and sea to win a single convert, and when he becomes one, you make him twice as much a son of hell as you are. Woe to you, blind guides! You say if anyone swears by the temple, it means nothing, but if anyone swears by the gold of the temple, he is bound by his oath. You blind fools! Which is greater, the gold or the temples that makes the gold sacred? You also say if anyone swears by the altar, it means nothing. But if anyone swears by the gift on it, he is bound by his oath. You blind men, which is greater, the gift or the altar that makes the gift sacred? They're basically materialistic dogs. And I continue. Therefore, he who swears by the altar swears by it and by everything on it. And he who swears by the temple swears by it and by the one who dwells in it. And he who swears by heaven swears by God's throne and by the one who sits on it. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You give 1/10 of your spices, mint, dill, and cumin. But you have neglected the more important matters of the law, justice, mercy, and faithfulness. Exactly. You should have practiced the latter without neglecting the former. You blind guides! You strain out a gnat, but swallow a camel. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You clean the outside of the cup and dish, but inside they are full of greed and self-indulgence. Blind Pharisee, first clean the inside of the cup and dish, and then the outside also will be clean. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You are like whitewashed tombs, which look beautiful on the outside, but on the inside are full of dead men's bones, and everything unclean. In the same way, on the outside you appear to people as righteous, but on the inside you are full of hypocrisy and wickedness. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You build tombs for the prophets and decorate the graves of the righteous, and you say, if we had lived in the days of our forefathers, we would not have taken part with them in shedding the blood of the prophets. So you testify against yourselves that you are the descendants of those who murdered the prophets. Fill up then the measure of the sin of your forefathers. You snakes! You brood of vipers, how will you escape being condemned to hell? Therefore I am sending you prophets and wise men and teachers. Some of them you will kill and crucify, Others you will flog in your synagogues and pursue from town to town. Very interesting how they put that, isn't it? Very interesting how that relates to gang stalking. But we won't get into that, and I won't venture to say that I'm a prophet. But I do think it's interesting that I'm getting the treatment of a prophet for doing something similar to what they're doing. And so upon you will come all the righteous blood that has been shed on earth, from the blood of righteous Abel to the blood of Zechariah, son of Berechiah, whom you murdered between the temple and the altar. I tell you the truth, all this will come upon this generation. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you who kill the prophets and stone those sent to you, how often I have longed to gather your children together as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, but you were not willing. Look, your house is left to you desolate. For I tell you, you will not see me again until you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. So, these people were materialistic dogs. They set out to kill the Son of God. They have no morality. They are complete hypocrites. They value the gold more than the temple itself. They are serpents, a brood of vipers. They are children of hell. And they have teamed up with all the scum so that the righteous are persecuted by the scum of this earth. The highest status of a Christian from a Christian perspective is similar to the African perspective of a transcendent hero. And that is of a martyr. What they are doing right now is they are martyring me. As a Christian, I am already miles above them. As far as the eye can see, I'm light years above them. But as they martyr me, they solidify my place in the heavens as a transcendent hero, as a Christian martyr with a profound understanding of Islam. So I say to you, sniveling dogs, whether or not you show up at 9 at the gate, you will be outside the gate with the sexually immoral, with the idolaters, with the sorcerers, with the lowly, iniquitous dogs. There should be a sign on the gate saying, no secret society, scum allowed. But there doesn't have to be, because you already know you're not allowed. You can try to make up for it in being all your exclusive clubs and groups that you want to be. You know, you can go to private nightclubs and golf clubs and have little stupid societies, but at the end of the day, they're just stupid societies. The ultimate club, the ultimate exclusive club, the exclusive place that means the most and nothing even comes close. You are not allowed. You have been precluded. You have been excluded. You may not enter, you lowly, and I do mean lowly, fucking dogs. There you have it. And will these sniveling cowards say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord? Or will they continue to gang stalk him? When you see what is going on and you truly understand exactly what is going on, it is impossible to not come to the conclusion that the most righteous people on earth are true Christians, true Muslims, and spiritual people who side with them naturally. It is impossible. Evil has defined itself as the enemies of Christianity. It is impossible to be a good person and to be adverse to Christianity. You feminist dogs. You atheist, iniquitous rats. You perfidious racist. You lowly, rapacious, you malevolent, insidious Satanists. You spiritual bottom-feeding gays. bow down to the Most High.